And it's not just millions of dollars for the growing surveillance needs for the U.S. government purposes, as I mentioned. Something else is going on as well. The household video surveillance market is now estimated by some to reach around $25 billion by 2016. On an individual basis, the value of a home surveillance system is pretty easy to spot when we think about catching burglars by letting local TV stations help police in posting surveillance videos. It's always good to get other people to see those videos. Maybe they recognize some of the suspects. But there's something else happening here. We're reaching a point in our society where we're allowing more and more of our daily lives to be watched through the eyes of a camera lens, from traffic lights to the security cameras in our office buildings and elevators to, the home nanny cams for our children and our pets. The private surveillance industry continues to grow. Our own cell phones these days have become more than just a way to communicate, but also a useful tool for law enforcement to weed out criminals. The U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals recently ruled that Americans have no reasonable expectation of privacy when carrying cell phones, allowing police to track GPS signals without a warrant or probable cause. So why keep on paying? Why keep on paying to keep spying on ourselves if we know our own law enforcement can do it for free? Well, to help us discuss this issue a little further, I'm joined now by RT producer Andrew Blake. And Andrew, I should say, there's no doubt that this is a big moneymaker here. I went on one of the websites for one of the companies that does this, and I want to read. This is a website for a company called Live View GPS, and it lays it out pretty clearly. It says, from detailed reports to accurate position updates, our GPS tracking systems provide our clients with the effective tracking solution for their needs. Our clients include numerous federal, state, and local government agencies, Fortune 100 and 500 corporations, as well as numerous privately held companies throughout the United States and abroad.
Oh, that's good. That makes me feel safe, knowing that all sorts of federal and local agencies are able to do that.
Yeah,
Great.
So this company has it laid out right there, right in front of you.
It's part of their business model. That's how they make money.
It probably, how common is this?
Very. Like you said it. We'll just say by 2016, we're expecting $26 billion, this industry alone. And within the last decade, more specifically the last 2 or 3 years, we saw this huge transition where telecom companies, places where...
You're talking like Verizon, Sprint.
Yeah, places where you're going to get cell phone contracts, landline contracts, broadband, cable, internet, all that stuff. Those companies have also, in the last couple of years, entered the home surveillance market, and which is great because that's one, have everything streamlined to one bill. You don't have to worry about paying, ADT one thing and Time Warner another. No, you can have the same company that sends information over telephone wires and over fiber optic cables. Those same people can see exactly what's happening in your house, and they realize that they can make a ton of money by doing that, and they have been. And so the surveillance market really has been picking up in the last couple of years, but it's just, well, I'm sure we're about to get to it. If we go to this case with the Sixth Court of Appeals, it's kind of terrifying what we know now.
Well, yeah, talk a little bit about this court case and, how much they can get away with.
Well, the one argument that has existed since the Bill of Rights is that the Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable search and seizure, and that the government or anyone can't just, stick their hands in your pockets and put a big magnifying glass over your house and see exactly what it is that you're doing. But last week, United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit said, well, maybe there's a little... Maybe we have a little leeway here.
Maybe there's a little leeway when it comes to the word unreasonable.
Yeah, precisely. They said, well, if you're committing a crime, in this case, distributing marijuana across state lines, you shouldn't, it shouldn't apply to you because you're not being reasonable yourself. They said that if you are, actually, I can pull it up to you. The ruling says that there is no Fourth Amendment violation because the suspect in this case did not have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the data given off by his voluntarily procured pay-as-you-go cell phone. So they're saying, so if you have a cell phone and you carry it on you and you transmit data across that, you're transmitting data in a public place, you should not think that it's unreasonable that we're just going to go ahead and watch you.
So GPS tracking on cell phones is somehow reasonable.
As of last week, yes, absolutely.
According to these officials. Now, there is a difference, though. Certainly, on one hand, we can talk about cell phone tracking, and I think a lot of people would find it pretty surprising. But when it comes to our actions out on a public street, a lot of people are wondering if this is even legal. But I want to show a part of an interview with private investigator Steve Rambam.
is no location that you can go to on the public street and in most buildings where you're not being videoed.
So that was a really short part of an interview, but talk a little bit about, basically Steve Rambam, private investigator, says this is totally legal.
Oh, it is. I mean, if you are in a public space, like if you watch the rest of the interview, I know it's on the RT YouTube channel, and Mr. Rambam says that in New York City, from Battery all the way up to 51st Street, you can walk anywhere on the street in Manhattan without being, I don't want to say spied, because it kind of has a negative connotation. I mean, sure, it's not really that friendly, but it's very true. When you are out in public, you can do whatever you want. You can follow someone as long as you're not assaulting them. You can take photographs. You can talk to someone. You can do anything. That's the same reason that why there's been a bit of an uproar in D.C. in recent weeks, and the Metropolitan Police captain actually had to make a statement saying that when police are acting in their official capacity in the public, they can be videotaped because there is no expectation of privacy in the public. If you are doing your job in the public, we're going to go ahead and people can watch you, and which is great for bringing some accountability to law enforcement. But it's can work on the other way around too. If you're doing anything in the streets, anyone can be watching you, and that information, whether it's willingly collected by law enforcement agencies or volunteered over, it's totally legit to be handed over. And the case that we're seeing with this GPS tracking, actually, I believe it goes back to 1986, the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, and we've talked about it a couple of times before on RT. And what the ECPA does is it says that if you just get a court order, you can go ahead and try to monitor someone's GPS or digital communications, whatever it's going to be. But the thing about a court order is it's not a subpoena and it's not a warrant. You just have a judge say, sure, and stamps a paper, and you can track someone. And with that, it's believed, a magistrate judge ruled earlier this year that there's around 30,000 Americans have been surveyed by the United States government in the last year.
So there's nothing you can do private on your cell phones. There's nothing private you can do on your streets. We should tell our viewers that now the latest push is by law enforcement to be able to surveil people in their vehicles. So stay tuned for the next. We are out of time, Andrew.
Encrypt everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.